Welcome to Kids Book Buzz, a children's book club where you read the book in the spotlight and submit any questions you have about the book for the creative to our email address. We'll link it below. I'm your host, Kirsty Lightfoot, Vice President of CBCA WA, and today we're exploring the works of Josh Langley. Welcome.
Hi, I'm excited. This is going to be great.
Thank you for coming along. Nice to meet you in person. We've had video chats and
I know.
all the things.
Yep.
So it's lovely to see you in person. Now, for those who don't know, Josh Langley is more than an author of incredible and inspiring kids' books to me. I think you're an ambassador for self-love, kindness, and emotionally intelligent children, and I think it's such a gift that you give to everybody else. Starting with Being You Is Enough, Josh's debut book branched into 9 other books with more on the way, and we'll talk about that. And Josh won the Australian Book Industry Award Small Publishers Children's Book of the Year in 2018 for his second children's book, It's Okay to Feel the Way You Do. I adore these books. Kids really adore these books, and I can't wait to discuss them today. So thank you again for joining me. Are you ready to discuss all the works?
Let's do it. Let's bring it on.
All right. So we're here from CBCA and obviously organisations like that, and RBR provide awards and all those fabulous things. So starting with the award kind of side, what did the RBR award in 2018 mean to you for your work?
Oh, that was a game changer because it was my second kids book, and my books are not normal kids books, okay? So I always grew up a bit, or sort of felt, I don't really fit in to the kids book area. So when it won the award, it was like, wow, okay, I suddenly fit. I suddenly am accepted into this sort of whole genre of kids books. And so that was a game changer for me. That changed my whole mentality, and I went out and went, okay, I own this space now. And that was the game changer.
That's awesome. And it's something that a lot of other people have actually mentioned, because I do get the opportunity to meet and interview a few people around the awards with CBCA and things like that. And a lot of it comes down to that acceptance. Like, it's this little mark of like, I've made it, I've got it. And for people who enter the industry in different ways, because the kid-lit community in Western Australia is incredible, and I think we have the best authors. But it is interesting when you enter from a different way. So it's great that those kind of spaces give you the confidence to go, no, I can do this, and I can talk to everybody, and I've got my space.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the awards do. All the different types of awards, they give people that sort of that credence to go, okay, I'm okay. I can be here. I can do what I want now. And I think that's really important.
We're so glad to have you here, and I'm so glad it launched into so many different books. How important is it to not only have the awards, but organisations like those kind of places, and obviously Children's Book Council of Australia, around for creatives like yourself? What has that experience been like?
Yeah, really important, especially the CBCA WA, because the work that you guys do to promote authors is just phenomenal. I mean, look at Children's Book Week. That's where we make most of our money, is by, going to schools, talking to the kids, and we get paid for it. And that is just like, that's great. That's why you want to do it. You want to talk to the kids, but also you want to make it a career. I've been paid to talk to kids about writing books and all that, and you get to talk about what you're passionate about. And without CBCA WA doing that and organising that and getting the funding, I think that will be a great loss. So I think it's great that CBCA WA can do that and put so many authors forward. Even whether they're just starting out or whether they're well established, they all get their spot in the primary school spotlight. Yeah. And I think that is so important. So I'm forever grateful.
Well, we love to hear that. And any budding authors out there, definitely reach out, because I think people always go, you must win an award or you must have some sort of no. We've got the webpage, which is for authors. We really do try and promote up and coming authors. So I'm glad that that's how you felt, and hopefully we'll get more and more new authors. We do every year. There's just more and more coming through, which is fabulous. And I always see kids that come out of school, and I'm like, when you get there, let's have a conversation, because they've got a lot of passion for writing, which is lovely. Now, you often say, I want to jump into your books. You often say that the first book was a love letter to your 8-year-old self and the things that you wanted to say to yourself.
Yep.
How did the rest of the series then develop? Was that more letters from you, or was it other inspirations?
It was all still based around what I'd go back and tell my 8-year-old self. Yeah. So that Being You Was Enough for that first one. And It's Okay to Feel the Way You Do was the one about how do I talk to my 8-year-old self about feelings so he could be comfortable with his feelings. And then there was Magnificent Mistakes and Fantastic Failures, because I was constantly getting into trouble, stuffing up, making mistakes, failing, all that sort of stuff as a kid. And so to have a book that I could just write to myself and go, it's okay. You can make mistakes. What are you going to learn from it? What opportunities have there been in failure? And that was like a brilliant thing for me to do that. And then there was Being Wildly Kind, and then How to Be a Wonder Hunter, and the new book that's coming out about gratitude. So they're all things that I would go back and tell my 8-year-old self about the important things that he should be aware of and that he should be learning and he should be taking on board to make him a comfortable, happy, well-rounded kid.
Yeah.
So that's all the books are still based on that premise.
I think that's a amazing way to tackle it for yourself, obviously going forward. But I think that's what makes them so impactful, because they are written for young kids. And what we experience when we're young is sometimes you feel this mountain is huge and I'm the only one doing this. And there are so many of us that need to learn about how to feel and what those feelings are and how to express them. And so your letter goes beyond just for yourself. I think that's how it's expressed to everybody now.
Yeah,
and it comes
exactly.
at such a crucial point.
Yeah, exactly. Because we all want to tell our younger selves what we shouldn't be knowing, what we'd love to tell them. And I think by me telling my younger self, a lot of parents see that and go, I wish I could tell my younger self and then my child that. So that's how it reflects that way.
And we're now then getting to bring in kids that are becoming more emotionally intelligent. And I love that there is more discussion around, we don't have to tell it to ourselves after we grow up. Let's do it now. Let's have these conversations. The books, like you said, are quite unique. They're not your typical kids book. And I found the structure really interesting. They're like bite-sized almost. They're not chapters. They pause at the right place, but it's got a lot of a flow kind of through it. So I'm sure it's a question you get asked a lot by kids. What's the process in creating this kind of book from like start to end? How does that all happen?
It's really random. I will get an idea, like say for this one, for the new book that's coming out at the moment, Thank You. That one, it was started by me actually doing the school talks and actually talking about gratitude to the kids. And then I was sitting on the veranda one day thinking, maybe I could extrapolate a whole book about it, because all my books are around about 100 pages, so they're not just your normal 32 pages. So and I thought, okay. And then I thought, okay, well, if I write it, so what I do is I write the text first and then I get that flowing and I go, okay, well, look, let's break it into sections here. This can be like the introduction bit. This can be how to cultivate gratitude. These are the reasons why, and this is the effect of it. So I break it into that sort of way of looking at it. And then I go through and then I do all the illustrations. Yeah. Okay. So I either do them on a sketch pad and get some ideas that way, and then I do them on the computer. Yeah. And then I'll put them with the text and I'll see how they fit, see how they work. And sometimes I may go, well, look, Josh, what are you doing? You've drawn a penguin where it looks like an elephant. What are you doing? We'll just
lean in. It's an elephant now.
It's an elephant. It's an elephant. So, and then I do that. And then I will look back at the whole manuscript and go, what is it doing? Does it need anything? Does it need to be rejigged? And then I'll go, okay, yeah, it needs to be rejigged. I need to move this to there, that to there. And then I will send it to the publisher and then get their feedback. And they'll go, Josh, this is fantastic. You should have checked your spelling though. And then, they may go, okay, it still needs something else. There's something else that you could still add to it. And then they will tease it out for me and I'll go, okay, fantastic. I'll add it in and then we'll work together until we're really, really, really happy with it. And then once we're really happy with it, then it'll go off to the printers. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's quite a structure but flow. Like you said, you've got these parts that you can then move, and it's I think when you read it, it does have this natural flow. So it's interesting that that's kind of your process as well. It comes across very well in the book, and I can see kids really get into it and those breakdown points. Like there is a structure of like, this is how, this is why, this is the end, this is what happens. Really does seem to resonate with kids. So interesting that reflects in your process too.
Yes.
Your illustrations. I love, and we've obviously just touched on penguin to elephant. How do you create your illustrations and then pick the characters for the page? Because they're so well done. And like you'll say a phrase and I'm like, it should be a pig on that page and that's what it should be.
Yep.
But how do you do that?
I don't know. Like say for this latest book, there's a pig, and that pig's called Preston. Okay, and he's got a guitar, and he's got a heavy metal kind of guitar, and he's rocking out, but he's got love hearts coming out of the end of the guitar and stuff like that. Because I've always put love in everything I try and do, and I don't know. I just thought I'd draw a pig, and like for the cover of Magnificent Mistakes, I drew a giraffe, and I'm thinking. Okay, and then How to Be a Wonder Hunter was a octopus, but he's only got 7 arms or 7 legs. Arms or legs on an octopus?
Arms. Tentacles.
Tentacles. There we go, tentacles. And it's only got 7, but it's like I don't know. I just and I drew meerkats in one of them. I suppose it's just like okay, what's an animal that is look a bit bizarre, or like I drew an echidna for one of them, and I was like okay. I don't know. I really don't know, Kirsty.
That's
okay. I just randomly pick animals and I just go, what can I draw from that? You know, I recently drew a dinosaur, a T-Rex.
Oh, okay, yep.
Okay, now that's in the new book.
Nice, I'm looking forward to it.
And he's called Alan. Alan the T-Rex.
Alan the T-Rex. Like
okay.
And that's the reason I ask is either there's going to be a process or a reason, which is fascinating for kids to know, or the other thing that tends to happen is you don't know.
Yeah.
And I like that. I think, again, we've got kids who are so creative, who are creating graphic novels and zines and pictures and art and writings and all these kinds of magnificent storytelling, whichever way they do it. And it's kind of nice to hear incredible authors that are published, professional, being paid for it, going, I go with my gut and I have fun with it and I create because it just is. And
and there's no rhyme or reason behind it. You can just go, I'm just going to draw a cat with funny ears and a mangled face or something. I don't know. You can just do whatever you like because you're in charge of that creative process.
Absolutely. Mine would be turtles because I can't really draw much else. So everything would be a turtle. And that would be if anyone asked me, it'd be like, it's because that's all I can draw.
But you could do a whole series of turtles, though, couldn't you?
I could. 10-book series. I'll have to think about that one. Now, the books are so heartfelt and like I said, they resonate with parents, with kids. I'm gifting them to my nieces and my nephews. Like it's something that is so joyous to hand over and it really empowers kids. But there are so many moments in there that pop up that make myself crack up. When I've read them to kids, they crack up. And so there's these great jokes that come through. And so does every book have a fart joke? Or, is that an aim of yours to get that kind of humour in there?
Yep. Either a poo joke, a fart joke, or something like that, or even if it's just a picture of a poo. Yeah. You just got to put that in there because because you can't have it just all so serious, can you?
No.
You got to have a poo in there.
It's so good. It's really well timed too.
Because even in this new book, I've got poo in there.
Great. Hey, we've got to engage and we've got to,
and you got to make kids laugh at the same time. You got to, you can't take it all way too seriously.
No, and that's, we're talking about serious things, but things that just become part of your life. And I think when you have humor with it, you absorb it a lot more and you're more interested in what's going on.
Exactly.
So, I'm glad to know that there's a fart book, fart joke in every book or a poo joke. Or looking forward to the next one then. Kind of finally, there's 2 last things I want to ask. One in particular is about the career outside of being an author, because you are such an active creative. Like you take part in Squibbie, you do so many workshops. You were a 2021 Burragoon local hero, which I think is incredible. You do interviews, you advocate for mental health, you do your own podcasting. What's been your favorite opportunity or experience from now becoming an author and this now being your career journey?
I think it's a good question because I think it's being able to do it all and extend myself. Because I used to be an advertising copywriter. So I used to sit and write radio ads all day and that was it. And now, okay, I get to write books. I get to illustrate books. I get to go and visit primary schools, talk to thousands of kids. I get to have my own podcast. I get to find out about kids' mental health and emotional well-being. I get to promote different aspects of like the squibby stuff or for the CBCA. I mean, I get to go all this sort of stuff, which I never realised was ever there.
Yeah.
And I get to extend myself. I get to, follow my curiosity.
Yeah.
Is one of the things. What am I curious about? And one of the things that I'm deeply passionate about is getting kids on that mental well-being path, because I know there's so much anxiety and stuff like that with kids at the moment. And if I can do what I can to help kids as much as possible and help parents, because I do parent workshops as well, and it's like, what can I do to help these kids as much as possible? And sure, it's through the books. That's the key thing. That's the main driver. But if I can do other things as well, then I'm going to do that. I'm just going to jump in. I got no idea what I'm doing because I don't have a background in any of this stuff. But it's what I would tell my 8-year-old self. So if I use that as my grounding, then I can't go wrong. You know what I mean?
It's something, when you hear something, sometimes they say you have to hear it multiple times. And I'm so sorry to my mother who used to tell me multiple things. And then I'd hear it from a friend and be like, this is a great idea. And so I think being able to say it in the book and say it in workshops, you're just being able to get that message out there in maybe a different way that just connects with somebody differently. So I think that's important. And I would love to just highlight, it's silly because I know I have heard it, but I hadn't heard it in the way that you'd put it about mental well-being, because we always talk about mental health, and that can become very big, it can become very broad, it can become sometimes overwhelming for people, whereas we always talk about like health as a fitness, physical fitness and your mental fitness, and I like the term of well-being. That's what we're empowering kids to do, not to necessarily solve all their problems and not to necessarily not have big days, blue days, angry days, but it's that well-being. It's a process of being equipped.
It's an overall thing of, because I've got 9 skills that I teach kids about how to fortify their mental well-being. And then that's important because it's like I see parents go, oh, what am I going to do? My kid doesn't have that many friends, or I don't know what's going to happen or whatever. But I just tell parents, these are the 9 things that all kids need to have. And then when I talk to kids about that, kids go, yes, that's what I want. I want that curiosity. I want that wonder. I want all that sort of stuff. And when you tell that to parents, they go, oh, okay, well, that's easy. Yeah. Okay, let's do that then. And then
the rest comes.
And the rest comes, and the rest looks after itself, So that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, it's an incredible career journey, and I love that you've added all this in, and I think it just has made your books even more powerful by being so out there and advocating so well with kids and parents and providing so much support. Now, I'm going to end on animals because
yes.
What is your favourite animal to draw?
Oh, I really enjoyed drawing the pig.
Yeah.
The Preston the pig is on the cover of the new book. Thank you. I mean, I don't know why, because I think because I gave him a guitar. Yeah. So he's rocking out on the front cover of the book with a guitar.
It's a dream.
It's a dream. It's a dream. And I suppose one of the things is when I drew the Graham the giraffe, he had a tutu on. Okay, and I had one kid tell me, I think it must be Monday, why is he wearing a tutu? And I went,
why not?
Because he can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Okay, easy that.
Yep.
Okay.
There's no reason. It's just he can.
Just he can. He can. Yep.
All right, Preston. I'm very excited for the next book. Now, to go into something with the podcast that we have been doing called Snack Attack. Mm-hmm. So we are so lucky to be able to do these podcasts with funding through Healthways and their Fuel to Go and Play programs. So I have 3 questions for you, and I love asking them because I think they give such a great scope to kids and healthy activities and healthy lifestyles. What is your favorite or like go-to balanced meal? Like what's your thing that you go to that provides like comfort and a bit of health? And
you know what? I reckon a good healthy chicken salad.
Oh, yeah.
A chicken, and the chicken's got to be cooked with like Moroccan spices or something like that. I know a lot of kids are fussy eaters. So if you're a fussy eater, you listen to this. Moroccan chicken, okay, with fresh homegrown lettuce, tomato, cucumber, capsicum, and done with a balsamic dressing. with olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, you can't go wrong. That is what I would recommend.
That is so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, no, I agree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I can taste it. All this freshness, it's just like so fresh and
exactly.
light,
And if you can grow it in your own backyard, not the chicken, but you know, you don't want to have a slaughterhouse.
No, we're going away. Yeah. No, that sounds awesome. What do you then do to move your body? So how do you add movement to your day? What do you like to do?
I walk every morning. I walk 3Ks. I live on 7.5 acres, so I live in the bush. So I've got a nice sort of road that goes up through the hills and stuff. So I walk 3Ks. And then when I get to the top of the hill, I do stretches. Because I find stretches are really important. Because otherwise, I sit in my chair most of the day. So it's like it's really easy to get, you know, like stiff and so I do stretches and I do walks. So that's what I do. That's what sort of gives me that movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've actually answered my next question, which is what do you do during your workday? So yeah, movement, stretching, getting up and walking.
I also talk to trees and hug trees.
Good.
You know, because I mean, if I've been sitting at the computer all day or drawing pictures or something, I go outside and I find a tree and I hug it.
That's awesome.
And I go, thank you, tree, and I go back in again.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my
routine. Yeah.
It's my inner therapy.
There you go. What I was about to jump into what's next. No, we've got final 4 questions to ask you too. So do snack attack and then do final 4 because I love knowing more about our authors outside of their work. So what's your favourite place?
Greece.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been there once and I want to go back about another 6 times.
Every year.
Every year.
Book presentations over there. We'll get it happening.
Yep.
Favourite word? Now, it can be like meaningful. It can be silly. It can be fun to say. Like, what's your
I don't know.
A word that you enjoy?
A word to enjoy. You know what? I just would have to say, it may be a bit of a cliche, maybe a bit, you know, but I'd like love.
Yep.
Just love.
If
we can just say the word love more often, that'll be great. There we go.
That's actually very powerful. What's your favourite children's book?
Oh, Where the Wild Things Are by Morris Sendak. Yeah, I love that book, and I love that made him famous.
It's a really good book. I feel like every kid goes through a Wild Things phase where they're just obsessed with that book. It's beautiful. And what's a good piece of advice that you've been given?
To show up. To keep showing up. Even when you don't know what you're doing, things are going terrible in your life, just to keep showing up, to keep turning up for whatever may happen and then be open to what may happen once you do show up. Because that's what happens with life. Just show up.
It's a really beautiful way to end. Thank you, Josh. So, what's next? You've got a book coming out tomorrow. I don't know when this is actually going to be shown, but in May, you've got a book coming out.
In May, I've got the new book, Thank You, How to Turn a Grey Day into a Yay Day. So that's going to be the last in this Being Yours Enough series of books. Oh. Okay, and I'm halfway through writing the next book, which is going to be a cross between a graphic novel and a middle grade novel.
Fabulous.
Okay, so it's going to be kind of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but a little bit bit neater, maybe neater. No, without the lines in it.
Yeah,
yeah. You know the way.
Your own style.
My own style, yeah. But it's going to be about 200 pages, and it's going to be it's going to be.
Oh, that's so exciting!
I'm excited. It's totally new for me.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to write this sort of type of book, and I'll tell you what, I'm learning so much.
Enjoying the process though?
I am, and it's going to be great when it comes out because it's. Anyway, I won't tell any more.
No, that's okay.
I won't tell any more.
That's enough for a teaser. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for that one.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with Thank You. I'm so excited for it to come out and see Preston the Pig and the guitar and all the love hearts, and I'm sure it's just going to be as loved as all the other ones. Thank you so much for coming on and being part of Kids Book Buzz today. So yes, please go out and read Thank You, How to Turn a Grey Day into a Yay Day. And to everyone listening, happy reading, exploring and creating. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you so much, Kirsty. Thank you.